On the last video, I showed you the EVs rotting on dealer lots, where you hold all the leverage. Today is the opposite list. These are the electric vehicles selling so fast that dealers have nothing to negotiate with. Buyers are putting deposits on cars that have not arrived yet, and walking in expecting a discount will get you a polite smile and nothing else. 10 fast-selling EVs right now, counting down to the one dealers cannot keep in stock, and I will tell you which ones are moving because everybody wants them, and which are moving because there are barely any to sell. Those are very different situations. Let's get into it. We start with the vehicle quietly carrying General Motors on its back, the Cadillac Optiq. Regular viewers know the numbers from the Q2 coverage. While GM's electric sales fell roughly 60% overall, the Equinox EV down 61, the Blazer down 68, the Hummer down 56, the Optiq grew 43% year over year and became GM's best-selling electric vehicle of the quarter. Not the cheap Chevy, a Cadillac. The reason it moves is that it solves a real math problem for luxury shoppers. Around $51,000 buys roughly 300 miles of range, an interior that competes with the Germans, and Super Cruise hands-free driving, the same system fitted to Cadillacs costing twice as much. Most Optiq buyers are conquest customers walking away from BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, which is the most valuable kind of sale a legacy brand can make. So walk in with realistic expectations. The Optiq is not sold out, and there is room to work, but you are negotiating against the one product line that is winning while everything around it loses. Cadillac has no reason to panic on this car, and if the salesperson holds firm on price, that is because they can afford to. Number 9 is the newest electric vehicle on this list, and it arrived running, the Toyota CHR. This compact electric SUV went on sale partway through the second quarter and still moved 3,748 units in that shortened window. For a vehicle most shoppers did not know existed a few months earlier, that is a genuinely hot start. And it is happening inside a brand that already carries the leanest electric inventory in America. Toyota and Hyundai consistently hold the least stock sitting on lots, which tells you the product is leaving as fast as it arrives. What makes the CHR move is the combination Toyota does better than anyone: trust plus specification. Standard all-wheel drive, 338 horsepower, 0 to 60 in around 5 seconds, roughly 290 miles of range, a native NACS port for supercharger access, and pricing in the mid-30,000s. Then add the badge that means a car will still be running in 15 years, which matters enormously to buyers nervous about going electric at all. And Toyota is not slowing down. The brand's electric sales are up 90% in the first half of the year, in a market that shrank. The vindication story this channel has covered all season, which leaves you with almost nothing to work with as a buyer. A brand new launch inside the tightest inventory in the segment is the worst possible hand a negotiator can be dealt. If you want room on this car, your best move is patience. Wait for the model year changeover and let supply catch up. Otherwise, plan on paying close to sticker and being grateful you found one. Number 8 is the family hauler accelerating in both directions at once, the Kia EV9. The Q2 numbers told the story clearly. Sales up 35% year over year and up more than 44% from the previous quarter. In a market where most electric vehicles were shrinking, the EV9 was speeding up on both measurements simultaneously, which almost never happens, and which is why it landed on my winners list. The reason is that the EV9 owns a segment with almost no direct competition at its price. 3 genuinely adult usable rows, around 300 miles of range, 800-volt fast charging that goes from 10 to 80% in under 25 minutes, styling that stands out in a school pickup line full of identical crossovers. And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty behind the whole package, at a price that undercuts every luxury 3-row electric SUV by tens of thousands. Here is the wrinkle that helps you though. Kia is still layering serious incentives on this vehicle. 0% financing for 60 months has been available, which deletes roughly $10,000 of interest on a typical loan. That is the tell. A car selling this well does not need free money, unless the manufacturer is bracing for something, and what it is bracing for is Tesla's new Model Y L arriving in this exact segment. So the EV9 sits in a strange middle ground. Strong demand means the dealer will not slash the price, but factory incentives are doing the discounting for you anyway. Take the financing offer, negotiate what little is left, and move before the incentives shrink. Number 7 just forced a factory to work double shifts. The Rivian R2. Rivian is ramping production in Illinois to keep up with R2 demand. And a company adding shifts is the single most reliable signal that a product is outrunning supply. Deliveries began earlier this year. The company beat its own guidance, raised its full-year outlook, and beat Wall Street expectations on its most recent financials. For a brand this channel once ranked among those most at risk of going under, that is a remarkable turn. The product explains the demand. The R2 brings Rivian's adventure identity down to a more attainable price, around $60,000 for the launch version with cheaper trims following. 328 miles of range on the launch performance, 0 to 60 in around 3.7 seconds. And the interior packaging that reviewers keep calling the best part of the vehicle, nearly 30 cubic feet of cargo behind the rear seats. Adult room in the back for someone 6'4", and a boxy shape that makes it far more useful than its footprint suggests. Rivian also carries some of the leanest inventory in the industry alongside Tesla and Hyundai, which means there is rarely a stale unit sitting somewhere that a dealer needs to move. That leaves you with essentially zero negotiating room right now, and Rivian's direct sales model removes haggling anyway. Your only real lever is patience. The cheaper premium and standard trims arrive later, and when they do, the pressure on the top trim eases. If the badge is what you want, buy now. If value is what you want, wait for the lineup to fill out. Number 6 is the quietest success story in the luxury electric segment, the Lexus RZ. The numbers doubled. Lexus sold over 7,800 RZs in the first half of the year, a gain of 100% from the same period last year, and moved over 1,000 of them in a single month. In a luxury electric segment where Cadillac, BMW, and Mercedes have all been stacking unsold inventory, Lexus is doing the opposite, and almost nobody is talking about it. The RZ works because it is a Lexus first and an electric car second. The interior quality is unmistakable. The ride is quiet in a way that reflects decades of practice, and the ownership reputation carries the same reliability promise as the Toyota badge underneath it. For a luxury buyer who wants to go electric without gambling on a startup or a first-generation experiment, that is exactly the pitch that lands. And Lexus is expanding fast. The electric ES arrives this year, and a 3-row model is coming behind it, which suggests the brand is finally treating electric as a lineup rather than a single entry. Which means your leverage here is limited, but not gone. This is not a sold-out car. It is a car whose demand doubled while nobody noticed. Shop 2 or 3 Lexus dealers against each other because the brand stores compete harder with one another than most luxury networks do, and that competition is where your discount will come from rather than from desperation. Number 5 sells out every month, and not for the reason you would guess. The Chevrolet Bolt. Regular viewers know the numbers. The Bolt moved 3,433 units in the second quarter, with barely 4,200 sold across the whole year so far. Those look like flop numbers until you understand what is behind them. GM runs a single shift at the Fairfax plant in Kansas where the Bolt is built, and output is throttled to a trickle. Nearly every one that gets built finds a buyer almost immediately. That distinction matters enormously for you as a shopper, and it is the split I promised at the start of this video. A car can sell fast because everyone wants it, or a car can sell fast because there are hardly any to sell. The Bolt is the second kind. Demand is not the constraint, the factory is. And what a product to be starved. Under $29,000 makes it the cheapest new electric vehicle in America. Around 255 miles of range, an LFP battery you can charge to 100% every day without guilt. The chemistry that won, the durability comparisons we covered on the longevity video. A native NACS port for direct supercharger access, It topped my 5-year ownership cost countdown as the cheapest EV in America to live with, and it sits among the cheapest to insure, which means you should walk in expecting no discount whatsoever and possibly a wait list. And there is a deadline attached. Reports indicate Bolt production concludes in the next couple of years, so this is a closing window rather than a stable option. If the math works for your life, move on it rather than shopping it. Number 4 is the most extreme version of that same story, the Nissan Leaf. Just over 1,000 units in a quarter. On paper, it is one of the worst sales figures of any electric vehicle in America, and it landed on my Flops coverage looking like a disaster. It is nothing of the sort. Nissan has capped Leaf imports at roughly 500 vehicles a month because of tariff costs on cars shipped from Japan, and on top of that, the company is fighting battery supply shortages from its longtime partner that cut production by more than half. So this is a car being deliberately rationed into the American market. Nissan may be the only automaker in the country whose electric problem is supply rather than demand. And the frustrating part is that the redesigned Leaf is genuinely good now. 303 miles of range for under $30,000. Liquid battery cooling for the first time in the nameplate's history, which fixes the single biggest flaw of every previous generation, the air-cooled packs that degraded in hot climates and destroyed the car's reputation. A crossover body that is far more practical than the old hatchback. A dual-port setup with NACS for superchargers and J1772 for home. Your leverage is 0, and your challenge is simply finding one. If a dealer within driving distance has a Leaf on the lot, that is the win. Treat the price as fixed and check the recent recall on the rear seatbelts before you sign. This is the rare car where the search is harder than the negotiation. Number 3 is the flagship of the comeback this channel has tracked all year. The Toyota BZ. The BZ moved 7,524 units in the second quarter, bringing it past 17,500 for the first half. In the first quarter, it briefly became the best-selling non-Tesla electric vehicle in America, beating the Ioniq 5, the Equinox EV, and everything else. And it sits inside a brand whose total electric sales are up 90% this year in a market that shrank with the leanest inventory in the segment. The formula is straightforward. Toyota fixed nearly everything wrong with the original BZ4X, pushed range to 314 miles, priced it around $36,350, and then stacked up to $7,000 in factory discounts with 0% financing on top. That effective price drops below $30,000 for a brand new electric SUV wearing the most trusted badge in the automotive world. That combination is why it moves. And it also tells you exactly where your leverage sits. The factory is already doing the discounting. Toyota dealers are not known for generous negotiation on hot product. And with inventory this lean, they have no reason to start. Your money is made by taking the manufacturer incentives in full, rather than by haggling the sticker and by cross-shopping the standard BZ against the Woodland trim, which as we covered is thousands more for less range and sits unsold for a year and a half. Number 2 is the pair where negotiation does not exist at all. The Tesla Model Y and the Model 3. Start with a scale, because it explains everything else. Tesla just posted its best second quarter in company history, 480,000 global deliveries, beating Wall Street expectations by more than 74,000 vehicles, up 25% year over year. 97% of that was these two cars. The Model Y remains the best-selling electric vehicle in America by a margin that makes everything else on this list look small. And Tesla carries some of the leanest inventory of any major brand, moving through stock in roughly 30 days. But here is what makes this entry different from every other one in this video. Tesla does not sell through dealers. There is no salesperson, no manager to check with in the back, no end-of-month quota you can lean on. The price on the website is the price for everyone, everywhere, on the same day. Your negotiating leverage is not thin. It is structurally zero by design. That sounds worse than it is. What replaces haggling is timing, because Tesla moves prices itself and it moves them without warning. 0% financing has appeared and vanished. Free supercharging miles for a gas trade-in have come and gone. A full year of free supercharging existed 1 month and disappeared the next. Those swings are worth thousands, and they are the only lever you have. So the strategy is inverted. Instead of negotiating a car, you watch for the offer. And when a good one appears, you take it that week rather than waiting for a better one that may never come. And if you want one specific piece of advice from the ownership videos, check whether the trim you are buying uses the LFP battery or the nickel pack, because it changes how you charge the car for the next decade. And the electric vehicle dealers cannot keep in stock right now is the Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is the one with hard evidence rather than momentum. Dealerships around the country are reportedly running out of them, with buyers putting deposits down on Ioniq 5s that are not on the lot yet, paying for a car that has not arrived because waiting for one to show up is not working. That is the strongest signal in this entire video, and it is happening inside Hyundai, which alongside Toyota carries the leanest electric inventory in America. The cause is a decision Hyundai made after the federal tax credit died. Rather than watch sales collapse, the company cut Ioniq 5 prices by nearly $10,000 on some trims and absorbed the difference itself. The result was the best-selling non-Tesla electric vehicle in the country through the first half of the year, third overall behind only the 2 Teslas, and demand that has now outrun the factory in Georgia that builds it. What buyers get for around $36,000 is the most complete package, under $40,000. 318 miles of range, 10 to 80% charging in about 18 minutes on the 800-volt platform, a native NACS port for supercharger access, a flat floor cabin with more usable space than the exterior suggests, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard, and the 10-year battery warranty that removes the biggest fear stopping people from buying electric. Nearly 70% of Ioniq 5 buyers are conquest customers coming from other brands entirely. Your leverage is non-existent, so change what you are optimizing for. Do not chase a discount that does not exist. Chase availability and configuration. Widen your search radius. Be flexible on trim and options. And get your name on an allocation rather than waiting for a lot to restock. And check the ICCU recall status on any unit you find, because that is the one documented weak point on this platform. And the coverage extends to 15 years or 180,000 miles on affected cars. 10 fast movers, and they split into 2 groups that matter more than the ranking. Some are selling fast because the product genuinely won. The Ioniq 5, the BZ, the EV9, the Optiq, the Lexus RZ. These are cars where the market agreed the value is real, and your job is to take the factory incentives in full, cross-shop dealers against each other, and accept that the sticker is close to the price. Others are selling fast because almost none exist. The Bolt is throttled to 1 shift. The Leaf is rationed at $500 a month over tariffs. The R2 is outrunning a factory that just added shifts. On those, finding one is the entire negotiation, and a car you can actually buy at sticker beats, a discount on a car that does not exist. And that is the real lesson, tying this video to the last one. Inventory is the whole conversation. When lots are full, you set the terms. When lots are empty, the manufacturer does. Check how long the specific car you want has been sitting before you ever discuss price, because that one number tells you exactly how much power you are walking in with. I am Nick, this has been Nick's Car Review, and I will see you in the next one.